Last time, we talked about the warning signs before a bite, and at the end, I promised we'd come back to one specific behavior that scares a lot of owners more than almost anything else. A dog who stiffens, growls, or even snaps the second you get near their food bowl. Here's the good news, and I mean this genuinely. In the vast majority of cases, food guarding isn't a sign of a dangerous dog. It's one of the most normal, most misunderstood, and most fixable behaviors in the entire dog world. Today we're breaking down the real reason dogs do this, and exactly what actually helps. Stick with me, because point 5 is the single technique that fixes this faster than almost anything else trainers use, and it's probably the opposite of what you'd guess. For decades, people were taught that a dog guarding food is trying to be the boss of the house. Modern behavioral science has moved completely away from that idea, and for good reason. Food guarding isn't about status. It's about an ancient, deeply wired survival instinct. In the wild, food was unpredictable, and any animal that didn't protect a meal in front of it risked not eating at all. Your dog isn't trying to control you. They're running a program that kept their ancestors alive for thousands of years. So the next time it happens, ask yourself, is this really about who's in charge? Or is something much older running the show? Here's something that surprises a lot of owners. Guarding exists on a wide spectrum, and most dogs never go past the mildest end of it. Eating a little faster when someone walks by, a quick stiffening of the body, angling slightly away from you while eating. These are all technically resource guarding, and they're incredibly common. So if your dog does any of this, does that actually sound like the aggressive dog you were picturing? Or does it just sound like a completely normal dog protecting a meal for 2 seconds? A lot of guarding behavior has roots way earlier than most owners realize, sometimes back in the litter, when puppies are genuinely competing with siblings for a limited number of teats or a shared food bowl. That early competition can wire in a habit that shows up months or years later in a home with more food than that puppy could ever need. Here's the question worth sitting with. If this habit started before your dog ever met you, does it really make sense to take it personally? This is the part that trips owners up the most. A dog can guard their food bowl and be completely relaxed about their toys, their bed, or treats in your hand. Resource guarding is almost always resource-specific, not a general personality trait. So before you panic that your dog is possessive across the board, has your dog actually shown this anywhere else, or just around that one bowl? Here's the mistake almost every well-meaning owner makes: reaching into the bowl or scolding the dog to prove they're in charge. This is exactly backwards, and it's the single biggest reason mild guarding turns into serious guarding. Punishing a dog near food doesn't teach them people are safe. It teaches them people are a threat to their food. The actual fix trainers use is called trading up. Instead of taking anything away, you occasionally walk by and drop something even better than what's in the bowl: a piece of chicken, a slice of cheese, and walk away. Over time, your dog's brain rewires the entire equation. A person near my food means more food is coming, not less. Simple question: which approach do you think actually builds trust? Taking something away, or consistently adding something better? We touched on this in the last video, and it's worth repeating here specifically. A growl over food is actually useful information, not something to shut down. A dog that's allowed to growl and then given space is a dog you can read. A dog that gets punished for growling doesn't stop feeling the tension. They just learn not to warn you before the next step. If your dog ever growls over food, remember what that silence could actually be costing you. Certain breeds bred for guarding, herding, or resource-limited working environments do show this behavior somewhat more often on average. But make no mistake, food guarding shows up across every breed, every size, every personality type, including the most easygoing family dogs you can imagine. So if you've been quietly wondering whether something's wrong with your specific dog, what if it's not about your dog at all, and just about food? Most food guarding responds beautifully to patience and the trading up method, but there's an honest line here. If your dog is snapping, biting, or the intensity is escalating rather than improving, that's the point to bring in a certified professional trainer or behaviorist rather than handling it alone, especially in a home with kids. That's not a failure on your part. So ask yourself honestly, is what you're seeing a mild, manageable habit, Or has it actually gotten worse over the last few weeks? So if your dog has ever gotten stiff, fast, or a little tense around their food bowl, take a breath. You're not dealing with a dangerous dog. You're dealing with an old instinct that just needs a little patience and the right response. As a trainer, this is one of my favorite behaviors to work on, honestly, because it's one of the most reliably fixable things I see. If this helped you understand your dog a little better, hit subscribe, because next time, we're asking a question that's going to completely change how you look at your dog. They don't actually see you the way you think they do, and what science has found about that is honestly kind of stunning. See you in the next one.